Hello guys! The king of graphic design has returned. Today I'm going to make a video on how to create a logo or wallpaper using some amazing typography design. Alright, let's go ahead and create a new file. And make sure to set the artboard size to 1920 by 1080 so you can use it as a wallpaper if needed. Now, go ahead and click on the Create option. And then turn off the strokes because we're going to create a background using a rectangle shape. Select any color you like for your background. I'm going with a dark gray or something similar. Then, start drawing the rectangle shape for your background, making sure it's the same size as your artboard. And then, make sure to lock the background layer so it doesn't interfere when you're selecting other elements or objects on the artboard. Now, use the Type tool to type the word Artboard or any word of your choice. I'm using Artboard because I'm creating a typography design for my channel, but you can type the name of your favorite word or anything you like. Then, change the color of the text to whatever suits your background or personal preference. Make sure to choose a good font for your text, something that fits the style you're going for. After that, increase the size so it's large, easy to read, and takes up most of the space in the center of your artwork. Be sure to center align your text. It makes everything look more polished and professional. Now, right-click and select the Create Outlines option while the text is selected. This will convert the text into shapes, giving you more control when editing. Then, ungroup it and start editing it like a shape to make it look more stylish and decorative. While it's fast-forwarding, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. And also, share with your friends who want to learn or improve their graphic design skills, because my future videos will dive even deeper into the details. Now, continue adding any other text you might need, whether it's your brand name, company slogan, merch label, or anything else related to your design. Add as many words as you want for this artwork. The goal is to make it more decorative, expressive, and stylish. The key to this entire typography design is using different text styles and fitting them together in a tight, cohesive layout to make everything look visually stunning. The goal is to place the text closely next to each other, adjusting their sizes and shapes as needed, so they complement one another and form a well-balanced, artistic composition. You can also tweak individual letters to enhance the overall look. It's not always necessary to change the entire word. Sometimes, simply modifying a single letter can make a big difference. So make sure to do this thoughtfully, based on your layout or typography design, because it's an important detail to keep in mind whenever you're creating these kinds of artworks. And as I mentioned earlier, keep adding more text and adjust each piece according to the layout of your typography design. Oh, and I forgot to mention, after creating outlines for your text, make sure to ungroup it. You'll only be able to edit and modify each letter individually once it's ungrouped. And also, don't forget about spacing when creating something artistic. Spacing plays a very important role in designs like this, so try to maintain a balanced distance between each letter. Proper spacing not only makes your design look better, but also keeps the visual flow clean and enjoyable. Poor spacing can ruin the entire look, and no matter how good everything else is, unbalanced spacing can make your whole design fall apart. And yes, I'll also be taking some inspiration from my previous work, or you could say I'm using it as a reference, since I tend to be a little forgetful when it comes to recreating something exactly like I did before. As you can see, I tweaked the letter E to give a more fun and playful look. Let's group all the text now, since our editing is done. And if needed, we can always ungroup them later for more adjustments or modifications. I'm not done yet, buddy. I'll keep adding more text, but this will be my final one. For this last touch, I'm going to give it a classic look by using serif font. Serif fonts naturally bring a more professional and timeless feel, which will balance out the artistic elements and add a nice contrast to the overall design. You can choose any serif font you like, since it naturally brings a more classic feel to your design. I don't have too many decorative elements here, so adding a classic touch helps create a beautiful balance, bringing together two opposite styles to form one cohesive and stunning design. Now, increase the size of the text, and then do the iconic trick that works so well with serif fonts, heavily increasing the spacing between the letters. This gives the serif font a bold and elegant look, but keep in mind, it only works well in certain situations and should be used sparingly. Now let's group everything together and align it properly with the artboard, so it looks centered and professional. Remember, making your design look clean and on point is one of the most important parts of the process. Now it's time to create the background elements that will complement our text. Basically, things that make the main typography stand out and feel more special. These little touches also help the design feel more complete, so it doesn't look too plain or like you didn't put in much effort, even though you did. So make sure to keep adding thoughtful elements, but also know when to stop. Finding that balance is key. Here, we're going to use a gradient instead of a solid fill, because using a fill would make the design look flat and plain, which is exactly what we want to avoid for this element. Now, keep adjusting the gradient according to how you want and what is the color of your background, but also make sure that gradient should not make your typography design look dull or not properly visible, but instead it should complement your typography design so it looks good instead of just some unmatched gradient placed in with its design that doesn't improve the looks of typography design.
What? What?
Now, let's add some new text to the design, specifically since 2025, to give it a more classic and professional brand feel. It makes the channel look like an established and trustworthy company. Of course, this step is completely optional. Your design will still look awesome without it. But I'm adding it this time since it wasn't part of my previous work. And I'll keep editing and tweaking it until it feels just right. And then, boom, my work is done here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback so I can keep improving. By the way, in my previous videos, you won't find this kind of commentary. I've replaced those irritating background tracks with real guidance instead. Also, don't forget to share this with any friends who might need it. This might not be like your usual tutorials, but it was made to walk you through the thinking process behind creating a design, so you not only learn how to do it, but also understand why it's done that way. Thank you for watching, and have a great and amazing day ahead, or actually a wonderful night too, depending on when you're watching. Gotta admit, my lines are pretty smooth, aren't they? Hee 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 hee.